And there was the final Thursday Night Football Print Factory, and it's tonight. And we got the Jets and the Browns. What a way to finish out Thursday Night Football. It's perfect. And I got my man Big T here to talk through this slate. Big T, how you feeling on a Thursday night? It's our last Thursday night show. We'll have other shows, obviously. You know, we'll have other shows for the showdowns and going forward into the playoffs. But last Thursday Night Football show, no Prez. I haven't communicated with Prez, but you told me he's out of town, so we might not have Prez today.
I've never seen him do a show from anywhere but the office, so I'm assuming the Prez is going to be out of commission today. And, yeah, it's just insane how quick the football season goes every year. I don't know how we're week 17. We've done – I don't know what we average, 2, 4, at least 4 or 5 football shows a week, something like that, 4 or 5.
Close enough.
And they fly by. I mean, fly by. I don't know how we're in week 17. We've got through all the holiday stuff. I mean, I know New Year's is this week, but it's a somewhat normal slate, so it's not anything different like last week. And then we got playoffs, which we always love playoffs because it's shorter slates, it's showdowns, it's right up our alley, so – really, it's just the next 2 weeks. Week 18 is kind of whatever week, too, where you got a lot of weird plays and stuff. So this is the last week and the last Thursday showdown, like you said. So it's been a fun year, and I don't know. Doing this as long as we have, it's always weird. When you get to the end of the year, you're kind of ready for football to wind down and get into basketball, but you still love the playoffs and stuff. It's just the year goes long, and we like to even – I don't like baseball like you don't that much, but even when baseball gets close, you get excited about a new sport and just to get something new going. So golf again next week. Those of you that didn't see, we brought in a new guy not a new guy for us, not a new guy in the industry, but Andy Locke going to take over the golf stuff. He's going to have all kinds of new content for us, articles, everything. So it's going to be awesome. Starting next week, golf's back, and we both like golf. We like playing it, so I'm excited to get that going next week. So football's winding down, but as always at Run Pure, we're not winding down. We're just winding into different avenues.
Yeah, for me, it's golf. I do golf season. When golf season starts, I'm in. I try to play some golf. I'm not very good at it, but I do my best, Tony. I do my best. I beat Mangone. That's right. I beat Mangone, and I try to move up in the world from Mangone. You know, I got to get my next notch. You know what I mean? Like I beat Mangone.
I think Rubio's next. He called you out last week. He pissed you off. I think he's the next one because he's played like his whole life too.
No, Rubio wants the slab, Tony. Rubio wants the slab.
He doesn't actually want the slab.
No, he's getting it though because I'm gonna whoop him. I'm not even gonna. I don't even care about beating him bad, 21-0. Like when you go in and play these dudes, you beat them 21-0. You beat them 21-0, and you just own them. You just own them because they're just too small and they can't handle it. I'm gonna make him drop like Mangone dropped 4 minutes in. He's gonna drop. I don't even care about what the score is at the end of the day. He's gonna get that tired. I'm gonna bully him around the court too. It's gonna be the best. Played 2 rounds of golf in my life.
He might want the JSU smoke.
Oh, K Phallic. I'll take K Phallic. Definitely.
You gotta be.
You've only played Phallic. I mean, Phallic. If you've only played 2 rounds of golf,
he's only played 2 times in his life. I definitely got you over him because you haven't played. But for someone that hasn't played, you had a nice little swing for not having played. There's no way.
I've never been taught how to play either. It's not like I've been taught how to play. I just kind of figured it out. You know what I mean? Just
not
from
that hard out of the gate.
No.
It's hard to get good, but the easiest jump is from when you first start to in the 80s or 90s.
Oh, settle the fuck down there, Tony.
I guarantee if you play, you'll be at least low 90s quick.
No, I think I could.
The next jump's the hard jump.
It depends on where we play, though. I played some easier courses where I could shoot in the high 90s. Yeah. But then I play some hard courses where I'm I'm in the Mangone territory. There's certain those target golf courses. Yeah. Those. If you don't grow up playing, you're gonna shoot a high number at those type of courses where you're just not you. Like my cousin, we'll go play at one of the places across the street from my gym, and he won't even pull out his driver. You know, he'll use his, you know, most of his woods and, you know, friggin' clubs and just, you know, hit it straight. And you know, I'm pulling out my driver off the tee. You know what I mean? So there's just a big difference when you're like that comfortable. You can just pull out.
I'm in a lot of trouble if there's water.
You're in trouble, Falik.
Most golf courses have some water.
He's definitely a beach guy. He likes to hang out in the beach.
I can see
Falik,
that.
I can see it for sure.
I can see him out there like slapping it around.
Yeah, me too. Me too. There's no way that Falik's got like a really nice swing if he doesn't play that much either. So.
I mean, if he's only played twice in his life, like it just doesn't. I don't care who you are. It could be anybody.
Yeah,
you're just.
I just don't have like the touch.
I
just don't have like the touch or anything like that. Like
because you haven't played it.
Every time I hit the green, it rolls off the green. You know what I can hit the green and it will roll off the green. Whereas some people
life you're just gonna do and be some things maybe, but not much. You're just gonna be great immediately. Takes a lot of hours.
I do want to shout out some people. First of all, Little Trop, no faith in JSU. Hate to see it. That's my boy, Little Trop. Hate to see no faith in JSU. He said that we're 100%. He said we're like 1,000,000% waiting on JSU, which was not the case. Second of all, my guy Michael in chat says true professional JSU. So I want to give a shout out to Michael for knowing that I'm a true professional and I'm here somewhat on time. That's a fact. People didn't know, Tony. They thought I might be getting my bourbon ready. I don't have the bourbon ready. I unfortunately have the water here, and there's gonna be a lot of. I'm going on a big healthy kick, Tony. Big healthy kick.
You
for
and
no
Uncle
reason.
T.
Yeah, me and Uncle T. For anyone too, I was telling Tony this before, but for any one of you that does these like New Year's resolutions, let me tell you right now, they don't work and they'll never work. And the one reason why they'll never work is because if you wait a whole year to then decide for a month or two that you're just going to cold turkey stop doing something that you do every day or all the time, it ain't going to work. So just don't do it. If you want to do something, just sack up and do it anytime.
Yeah. Why has it got to be January 1st?
It doesn't have. That's my point with the whole thing. Like, if you want to fucking do something, just man up. Don't tell anyone you're doing. Just go do it. Like, just literally go do it. When I decided I wasn't drinking coffee, I didn't tell Tony. He had no friggin' idea I didn't have coffee for that whole month. And then I told you guys on the show. You had no idea.
Friggin' water. You don't think I noticed?
Yeah, but I didn't tell you was the point. My point is, like, people need, like, reassurance.
It's stupid, by the way, to just quit drinking coffee when you love it, too, by the way.
It's stupid.
JSU's so stubborn. One person says he can't stop drinking it, so then he just doesn't.
Says you couldn't do that?
Like, if they tell me you can't stop drinking Mountain Dew, Big T, I'd be like, no shit, I don't want to stop drinking it. I like it.
What if Uncle T told you that?
I would still. Anybody could tell me that. I'd say the same thing. When I go to a meal, I want to have a Mountain Dew or a drink.
You guys love Mountain Dew, by the way, in Kentucky. Like, Mountain Dew is not as near as popular over here, I feel like, that it is in Kentucky. That's all you guys drink. Dude.
No, I think we're in the minority, though. I don't think a lot of people are like that.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but whatever. All right, Tony, anything?
That's what JSU told me. Kidney stones got coffee. I get kidney stones. When I told JSU about me not drinking coffee, he's like, you're lucky because I get kidney stones bad. And I do not need them worse than I already got them because at least once or twice a year, I'm down for like a week with these friggin' things.
Yeah, I've seen my father go through it. Tony, obviously, but man, those things are rough. So
it hurts so bad. I mean,
definitely don't. I don't wish that on anyone.
Nothing hurts worse than those damn kidney stones.
And he's done. That's the crazy thing about Tony. Tony's done a lot of shows like Sick, which I'm sure people notice, but he doesn't say anything about it. Oh. He has done shows though where he's like in pain from those things. Those I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does it.
I mean, it's just constant. And then when you finally, everyone that's had them, once they finally like pop out, it's like
pass relief. Or whatever. Yeah, pop out. Yeah,
instant. Like you hear it almost. It's like a thump noise, like whoop, and then it just plops out, and you instantly feel better.
Yeah,
Almost
Richie
like an
Smalls.
ingrown toenail, if anyone's had those. Like it hurts so bad, and then right when they clip it out, instant relief.
Richie Smalls goes, I've broken ribs and it hurts less.
Oh.
That's crazy because broken ribs don't that hurts. So
I genuinely don't know how anything could hurt worse than a kidney stone. Like as far as just deep inside you.
All right, let's stop talking about it. I don't want to listen to it anymore.
We're gonna have another one by the end of the weekend as much as we're talking about it.
Dude, after hearing my father go through it when I was younger, it's always come into the thing I will never want of anything that could happen to me. I never want that to happen because I've never heard my dad be like in that much pain, like nothing. Like
the hardest part is there's like nothing you can do. Like you just have to take it. Even like pain stuff, like Tylenol or whatever you take, it doesn't work. Help that much.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Tony, anything else before we get into this game? I saw on Twitter. I don't go on Twitter very often, but I did see. There was a comment about for what was it, 20 million? Yeah, you had to go 20 was it 20 minutes with 4 chicks, and you just said, "I'll be poor."
I mean, there's no way. I don't care what anyone says. If it was actually one of those ladies. And you're not some dude that just sits home and just peels 8 times a day. If you're just a normal dude, you're not making it 20 minutes. I don't care what anyone out there says. Holden, I'm looking at you. I don't care, Holden. You're not making
Holden
it 20
doesn't
minutes.
count because Holden would literally he would cheat, is my point.
Yeah,
Holden
and I'm talking you gotta be physically getting things done.
You gotta be active for 20 minutes.
And getting a drink in between. That's not I'm talking you're in there. You're not making it 20. I don't care who you are.
You can't be eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Holden. All right, that doesn't count. Okay, you can't just stay down there the whole time. You get we're talking actively hitting it for 20 minutes.
Talk to a doctor. Look at B Dare. B Dare, you probably peel 8 times a day. You're one of those guys. If you peel 8 times a day, maybe you'll make it.
Listen, I'm not worried about the time. It's the who that would get me. The time is not. Like if that's just a normal person and not like you guys are putting out smoking
criteria, like those chicks, and it does matter top or bottom bunk. I mean, if you're on bottom bunk, I don't care, you're done. If they're up with control, you're done. Top bunk, you can at least do some different things to cheat the system a little.
I was gonna say, can you change shit constantly? You got to be able to change.
If you're on top, you got a better chance. If you're on bottom, you got no chance. When they're up, just sending it, you're done. I don't care. I'll be willing to bet people if they don't cheat and use medication, non-medication, you're not making it.
Yeah, probably with those choices, you're probably not making it. I agree.
Stroke a minute, he said. Yeah, I mean, if you go super slow, it might work the opposite way. If you just guide it.
Guide it? What are you talking about? Just slowly, just you know what? You'd have to be in a different land. You were doing that. You could not be actually focused on.
I'd have to be picturing you or something.
Oh God, you'd have to be picturing something that would just take you away.
The problem is you're not enjoying it though. You're supposed to be enjoying the scenery.
That's the issue though. You enjoy it a little too much, and then boom, you're done. You're out. So yeah. It was a good topic though. I thought it was interesting.
20 minutes. There's no chance. I don't.
20 minutes too. That's a sweat right there. You work up a healthy sweat for that long. So.
He should have posted 2 minutes to make it funnier.
Being there. He said, "No, I pictured JSU. I'd finish."
Yeah, he's the opposite of everyone.
Yeah, maybe he could last 20 minutes. Tony, shit, we might be looking at this all wrong.
They have stuff that may. Of course, they have stuff.
That's cheating, though. That's cheating, though. We're talking about
anyone can take a pill and do it longer.
Yeah. All right. That was fun.
Brian,
that was good talk.
That's what my doctor's like. What did he say? His exact quote was you're 45% the rest of your life to have them But if you stop drinking Mountain Dew and sodas, you'll be 38%. I'm like, for 7%, I'm not giving up the drinks for 7 extra percent. But yes, if I just drank water, I'm sure I'd be much healthier. I give that.
Listen, it's a choice though. Tony just chooses not to like give up that extra percentage to enjoy his Mountain Dew, which
Maybe
is
one day.
fair.
Maybe it'll be my resolution one day.
Oh God, if you make a resolution, I'm gonna kick your ass. Just fucking do it. You people with your excuses, fucking do something. If you want to do it, do it. No fucking excuses.
I like my
All
food
right.
and drinks too much. I think I'm just sticking
I
with
don't
being fat.
I don't blame you on the food. The drinks would be I could take out a drink and just drink water, but I know that's hard for some people. Like the food is because I'm a food guy. I want a burger. I want
Yeah.
chicken tenders. Like I
The
get
problem
it.
though, I can't go and eat good food like that and then just say, give me a water. Like I can't, I just
Yeah.
can't. I just can't do it. Like I can
It
drink water
ruins the
here.
experience.
When I'm
It
sitting
ruins the
here, like
experience.
doing a show, I could drink water all night. When I'm at like a meal, though, I can't drink water. It's got to be wine, alcohol, soda, something.
Yeah. And at that point, it's like, okay, whatever. Then you're not doing it. So
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
my point. That exactly. I guarantee if I ever had like an actual weight loss bet, like for good money, I would just drink water and I'd lose 30 pounds so
Dude,
fast.
we would crush that bet.
I could
You
lose a lot of weight.
you
By
could
doing
lose
that.
a lot of weight, buddy, so
And
quick.
quick
Oh,
too.
yeah, definitely.
But I don't
All
know.
right, I am inspiring. Thank you. I try my best. You know what I mean. And this is not true, Travis. I do not love pizza. I do not eat pizza. Pizza's gross, disgusting. No, thank you. But Tony, I was thinking about something. I was watching one of
Yeah,
those pizza
I agree,
reviews that
Ryan.
Barstool does, and I was thinking, how funny would it be if I just went around and started like doing the opposite? Like he scales it like bottom the word, like me just doing like disgusting, how disgusting each one is and spitting it out. I think that'd be decent content. Like I think people would actually laugh at that type of content, like me going to different pizza places and being like, this is definitely like a -2 and spit it out. You know what I mean? And just go up from there. I think that'd be good content, honestly.
I think you might end up liking it.
The pizza. It makes me like pizza after all that. Holden, what is he saying? Only thing I drink are water and smoothies. Oh, I mean, smoothies. Like you do like berries and shit, you crush it all up and you blend it. Like I don't even like that shit. Like just drink water. Like I don't know. All right, let's go to football because I'll get too much into it and then people will just laugh at me. Tony, we got Jets and Browns. I ran my first just run on Saber Sim without touching anything like I normally do. And one thing I noticed was it gave me a lot of the defenses, both defenses actually in the flex. And then it gave me a lot of like Brees Hall and Amari Cooper as like my top two captains. So they were like the two guys I got a ton of. It gave me a very little Trevor Siemian. So I feel like Trevor Siemian's going to be very low owned for a quarterback. I'll just say that. Like he's not going to be like 5% on Showdown, but like he's going to be low owned for a quarterback on this slate. So just a straight overview of this Showdown slate and how you're going about attacking like some of these spots that are look clear.
Yeah, I mean, man, these slates are the toughest just because there just isn't. I mean, what's the total at right now? 34 or something?
34.
I mean, it's just
34
it's
and a half.
tough. And just a side note too, these the good part about games like this, I love to set my betting week up. I know I'm totally changing the direction of your question, but it's -7.5 for Cleveland. And the total's so low that these are just such good teaser spots to set your whole week up where you take the Browns -1.5 and just put it with literally any other game you like. I mean, I would prefer Wong numbers, which are 1.5 to 2.5 dogs and 7.5 to 8.5 point favorites. But say you like a college game, it's just going to get you an extra 6 points with a lot of these. And it can set your whole week up. Like, say you want to bet 5 games this week, which I'm sure everyone bets at least 4 or 5 games. just put Cleveland in there with it, and don't like use your whole bankroll or something, but use your normal amounts and tease them. And after they win tonight, Cleveland, it's just sets you up for your entire week. You got 5 or 6 games where you get 6 extra points, and it just sets it up so nicely for you. You can round robin them even if you want, but just set it up like that. Because these games without much scoring, I mean, sometimes even in these low scoring games, we're like, we've even said it, like, I think there's going to be a lot more scoring tonight, blah, blah, blah. This is a game where I just can't, under no circumstances can I see this game being 30-25 or 4 or something. There's no way. The way these teams are set up. So I could see being defenses tonight, and I haven't said that in a while, but this Browns D at home versus the Jets, I mean, how are the Jets going to score? Seriously, how?
The defense.
Yeah, and I mean, the freaking D. Did they finally get pressure on Flacco? No one can get pressure on him. It could be a game where, yeah, you have both defenses, and that's going to hit a lot. So the problem then is, I mean, the freaking defenses are expensive because everyone knows the same thing we know.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. And then the funny part is, like, we both like the Browns clearly on this slate. Breece Hall is going to be the highest owned captain. And when you look at it, it's like, man, like, what if this team gets blown out? Like Breece Hall, I know he got a ton of receptions and people are going to go to that and stuff like that. But, man, I don't really love Breece Hall in this spot at captain. Like,
the hard part is just you just said it, though. Like, he's getting so many targets in the passing game that – I can see this game being a game where he is the captain and the only Jet, like where you have we don't see that often.
Like a 5-1, but like he's the one captain. Yeah, that would be.
I genuinely like don't know who else you can play from the Jets. I mean, in captain for sure. I mean, none of these guys are captain playable, are they? I mean,
I got a tiny in the run. I got some Garrett Wilson. I
just don't see it with him, though.
A tiny bit of the Jets defense and a tiny bit of the kicker, but like I don't see any of those plays in captain. Like, so yeah.
It might be the hardest captain slate I've ever seen.
All right, so let's stop there then, because that's a big key. The top guys, like I talked about Breece Hall, you got Amari Cooper, you got Joe Flacco, Garrett Wilson. Let's just start with those guys. I mean,
I don't
Amari
see
Cooper
how you can play
and Garrett Wilson are going against two of the better pass defenses, especially pass for Amari Cooper. Breece Hall is like the only one I feel like I could play in the captain spot. I'm not playing Joe Flacco in a 34 total in the captain spot, even though I will say he has been really good and consistent, Tony. So maybe it is just a safe move playing someone like Joe Flacco in the cap. He might not be the winner, but it might be like a safe move. If you're playing like a higher dollar thing, I don't hate it, honestly.
I mean, it's tough. I can't. So the difference is like Flacco's 10-6. We talk about this a lot on these shows because it's been a polarizing topic this year, quarterbacks and the captain. A lot of times when I like it, it's when they're cheaper. Like Simeon, I obviously Simeon hasn't played as good as Flacco. I'm not saying he has. But he's $1,800 cheaper just in the flex. So you're talking almost $3K cheaper in the captain. You're just saving a ton of salary. I would play Simeon in the captain ahead of Flacco, but I don't think either one of them are really in play tonight. Because if they do hit these guys, so usually like in the past, Derek Carr we've won with. Some of these guys, we've won occasionally with it, but you always have to play two pass catchers with it, obviously, because you need a couple different guys to go off. I don't even know. I guess you play like Conklin or Gibson or one of these dudes in there, but it is tough sledding at receiver there. I just don't see it. Honestly, I haven't like locked captains very much, but I mean, even like Jerome Ford, I don't think I can use in captain.
He's a bad captain play. Yeah. He's a great flex play, I think. He's a great flex play, bad captain play, because the way they rotate their running backs, he doesn't get those ceiling performance chances. He's not getting the workload that Breece Hall gets. Like if he got 20 something touches a game, we would like Ford in this spot. But the problem is he doesn't. Kareem Hunt splits with them, and they play strong a little bit too. So it just kills his upside. And I'm with you. Like just looking around the board, like Cooper, I'm not going to play in the captain. Garrett Wilson, I'm not going to play in the captain. Joe
You're gonna
Flacco,
have
I
to
won't
play
play.
some Omari in the captain if you got 150.
Well, if you're 150ing, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, if I was making like 5, 10, 20 teams even, I'm probably not playing those guys. I'd probably go down to like a Njoku or someone like that in the mid tier. Like, I'd probably go down to someone
Edmond
like
might
that.
be onto it. Our mid tier, Elijah Moore. Little
Elijah
revenge
Moore.
spot. He hates Salah too. I mean, that's a pretty good captain play tonight. I like that.
Yeah, those are the two guys that I have clicked. Like, so that's perfect because the Njoku and Elijah Moore, I think, are my two favorite captain plays, and they're in the mid tier. So you
Browns
could
D
still
just looks so ripe tonight too, and I don't ever like to do this, especially when they're chalky. I mean, the Browns D tonight is going to be maybe 50% owned.
I'll tell you right now, on every show we've done, like on Thursday or Monday night, I know for a fact when we've gotten some of these games, right, Tony, where the defense is going to be like 40+%. On every single show, I faded that defense.
Me too.
And I think on most of those games, the defense did not hit.
Yeah.
So
it's usually
actually
a great
the other
move.
defense hit is the funny part. On some of those shows, like the other defense was the one that hit. But this is one slate where I just don't know how you don't play the Cleveland Browns defense. Like it just seems like such a good spot. My question is, do I play the Jets defense, Tony? Because the Jets defense, I got 36% Jets defense in that first run where I didn't touch anything and just ran Saber.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get a bunch. Let me see what I got. Yeah, I mean, it's about 31, 27% flex, 4% captain. And the Browns, I got somehow 29% captain, 58%. I got 87% Browns D just running it naked.
I got 33% Browns D just running it naked on the flex. And then in the captain spot, I got, what did I get of them in the captain spot? So 40, 42, 43 total.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's low because how much did you say you got? You got like 80,
I got
right?
87, but I mean, that's totally naked. And I'm sure I have them projected on my like aggregate here. I'm sure it's a little high. Like I have them projected for 11. Yeah, if they get 11, they're near lock to be in the winner.
I was just going to say Saber has them at 7.67.
Yeah, like that's pretty low.
That's low. Yeah. But you are at 11.
They don't
so
do that much. I don't ever hate fading it, but man.
So even if I middle that though, right, Tony, and I put it at like 9 or something like that, like 9.5 even, like I'm probably going to get 60% at that point.
So, I mean, if you just look at their home games, because they're better at home, you got 13, 12, 7, 23, and then the two tough games were San Francisco and Baltimore. They gave up 6. They still had 6 and 4 in those two games. Tennessee 12, Cincinnati 9. So outside of the two good offenses they've faced, which they only gave up 17 to Frisco and 28 to Baltimore, beat them up. But I mean, they basically averaged 11 or 12 versus normal competition at home. So I think 10 or 11 is a pretty accurate projection for me, at least.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
If they score a touchdown, you can forget about it, obviously.
I mean, listen, they could be the winner and the captain. Like Browns defense could easily. We've seen the Raiders have 2 touchdowns the past 2 weeks. Like, could the Browns do that this week? 100%. So, all right, it seems like we're very heavy Cleveland. So that brings us to the conversation of 3-3, 4-2, 5-1. And I think in that conversation, how low owned is 3-3 going to be?
I mean, I think it'll be, let me look. So in my numbers right now, I mean, it's definitely Browns more heavy, but Breece Hall's the highest owned naked, of course, because like you said, he just checks out the safest and the best.
Safest, yeah.
And honestly, even if you don't use him in the captain, there's just with the way the Jets set up, it's so hard not to use him. It's very hard because he's gonna get. This is another double-digit slate where if you get double digits from guys, it's really hard for them not to end up in the winner. So I think he's a pretty. But then you got Flacco and Njoku, Ford, Browns. So is Cooper going to be because of his price? Is he going to be the guy that I only get in my naked run? I only get 7% Amari Cooper, which is pretty weird just because of his price.
Let's see here. I got 30% in the flex and 18%. No, 20% in captain. So I got more than you.
Way more, infinitely more. It's just because I only have him projected for 14, and he's 11,000.
Yeah, I got him projected higher, though just without touching it. Not me personally, but Saber. So
yeah, I can see a lot of 4-2s, and I mean 3-3s though will be somewhat still decent because everyone's going to play Breece Hall, either Simeon or Garrett Wilson. I mean Jets D. The problem with the Jets is the cheaper guys. There's just nothing down there.
Nothing. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. And Tony, do you think? I know this is week 17, right? But is this a game where Salah could go more to the backups, even in this spot, or do you think that's more week 18?
Anything's possible with this team because they're eliminated. So, I mean, we've reached the point of the program where anything's in play for these guys. Even Breece Hall not playing as much. Right. Is in play in these games. I mean, it is. It's a short week too.
So that brings me into one of my favorite cheap Jets. If he plays, is Abandakanda at 2,200. He's an exact pivot off of Breece Hall. If he plays, because he's questionable, obviously, but he practiced and limited all week. They said it's a short week. This game means nothing, right? Breece Hall's young. He's coming off of a big injury. Why would they kind of ease back on him? They gave him how many touches? They gave him 30-something touches last game. I don't know. It's either this game or next game, but you would think Salah would pull back the reins on some of these guys.
You would definitely. And just look, so 2 weeks ago, it was 40% Breece, 17 Dalvin, 38 Anaconda. And last week was 77 and 18. So you would think on a short week, I like that call. And it's great leverage where you could win a lot of money if you guess this right. And there's always stuff that can happen. We always give the same speech. Breece Hall could roll an ankle, and the whole slate's freaking on its head because of that. Where all of a sudden then Anaconda comes in and is the best play on the slate immediately.
Right, exactly. So that's the thing. It's you're leveraging all that ownership that Breece is going to naturally have because let's be honest, Tony, like you said, even in 4-2, most people are going to want Breece Hall. Breece Hall is going to be the first guy they go from the Jets and say, I want this guy. Projections are going to push him in there for sure. So if you can get that direct backup, and like you said, you don't know what happens during the game, but if he gets more work, that's huge for him, and he's going to be probably a little lower owned, I would assume. I don't know how much of him you got.
The only thing is Redmond keeps adding sharp comments in there. There's just no cheapies, so he could definitely end up higher owned than we think. But I still think he's a good play though.
Yeah, even if he is higher owned, what's higher owned in Showdown? He's not 15%. He's 30%.
Yeah, I mean, I could see 20, 25 in that range.
Yeah, listen, 25% in Showdown, I'll take when there's no cheapies.
I wouldn't even worry about ownership tonight anyway. Yeah. Just get your points and
I like him more than Kareem Hunt, I think. Just because
I do too. I mean, Kareem Hunt at 5,200 feels bad. I like Pierre Strong more than Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
I put Pierre Strong, honestly, in that same bracket as Anaconda, where he's 1,800, and who knows? Cleveland could pound the Jets too, where they just smother them and it's a blowout. And Pierre Strong plays the whole fourth quarter at 1,800 or something.
And that's how you get there. That's huge.
Week. I mean, where is he? He played.
It was like 15% of snaps. Somewhere in
Yeah,
that
I mean, the
range.
last 2 weeks, though, 16, 17%. I mean, what happens when he gets a good run out and he plays the whole fourth or something on a short week?
Yeah, short week. And, again, like you said, Cleveland's playing for something, obviously. But, man, if they get up, like, why are they going to push guys like Hunt? Hunt's been playing through stuff, too, I feel like, a lot of this year. They got to pull back the reins probably on someone like him. So
when's our boy Tillman? The chat's talking. When's our boy Tillman going to break out? He's played basically 70% of the snaps the last 8 weeks. He's had tons
before
of
the show, I
action.
tried to sell myself on him, Tony.
He just never does anything, though. Ever.
And I don't feel like this is a slate where, like, if I played him in the captain hoping for, like, an upside game, I'd even, like, want it that much anyway, because the studs aren't
the studs
that great.
Aren't great, but yeah.
I don't know. So let's go through these guys then, Tony. So in the flex, what are you doing with, like, Trevor Siemian? I think is a key part to this discussion here, because I'm not getting that much in. Like 20, 25
in the flex. This is definitely a floor slate to me without upside. I like the quarterbacks more on these slates just because there's no points. And like if Siemian gets to 12 or 13, I just think he's got a pretty good chance to be in the winner because it's just the way the combos work. So for me, I want as much of Flacco and Siemian in the flex as I can get. And then, like, say you just lock them, just for argument's sake. You lock them in the flex. You play whoever in the captain. That's 3 spots. If you get the captain right, and those guys that get you to double digits, on all your teams, you got 3 spots anchored. And then you can get creative with the other 3 where you just have less combos to worry about. I think a lot of time, unless it's just really, really ugly, which it could be for sure in this game, I feel like you're going to have at least 1 or 2 quarterbacks. And like the other night, the quarterbacks weren't in the winner, either one, on Monday night or Sunday night, whatever one it was. But it was also a game that it made sense with lots of options. Here, there's just not. I mean, can you name 6 guys that you could see being in a winner over the quarterback? It's tough. Unless it's really, really ugly.
It's really tough. It could be really ugly, though. What if it is like 2 kicker builds or something like it could be an ugly type game like that where there's 2 kickers in a defense. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's tough, though. It's definitely tough to see it where both quarterbacks are not. Like, one of those quarterbacks probably are on the winner. But, man, Trevor Siemian just sucks. He's so friggin' bad. Like, he is so bad. So, if you want to play him, that's fine. I'm going to be lower on him. I know that just from what I'm going to project.
Every time, though. This is what I try to tell you always on these. Everyone, like, you just run it, like you said, you get none. I run it. I get literally 13% of my net. Like, he's going to come in 15% owned. So, like, when you say you're lower, like, you might as well just literally fade him if you don't like him.
Well, I might just literally fade him.
But then it comes to the argument, though, like, why are we fading a 15% owned quarterback?
Well, maybe I could play 25% and get just above the field. I mean,
yeah, like if you play 25% or 30%, you're going to be above. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, he's one of those plays, Tony, we talk about all the time. He's a bad play, but probably a better showdown play just because
definitely a better showdown play. Because literally, he needs 200 yards and a touchdown to be huge.
Yeah, because let's be honest, on any other slate, if there was another game on this slate,
you wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's more of the showdown
ownership. I mean, you got guys that are just insane going to be like, well, let me sort by price. So, for example, I wasn't scrolled to the top. I mean, you got guys like Jerome Ford, who is 400 cheaper, going to be 3 times higher owned than a quarterback.
Yeah,
that's just crazy.
Yeah, and listen, we probably like Jerome Ford definitely could outscore Trevor Siemian. We're not saying 100%. That. It's more just
3 out of 4 times, I bet.
Exactly. It's more just like, man, like it's a quarterback. Like the dude has the ball. Like the quarterback, in theory, should be able to do that more than, what would you say, 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4? Like,
Yeah,
you
I
would
mean,
think, anyways. I
he's
don't know,
just,
though. I mean,
it just
again,
depends.
drone 4 is
He
a good
definitely
flex.
has low outcomes. I mean, the Miami game, they were horrendous. He scored 1 point.
Yeah.
The next game, he was awful too versus Washington, but he scored 12 points. 12 tonight, I think has a decent chance to be in the winner. I do.
Listen, Cleveland could definitely just stomp on Trevor Siemian. He could score like 4
There's
points,
part of me that
100%.
wants to. I haven't done this all year, but there's part of me tonight that just wants to full onslaught it, just full blown Browns onslaught and just pound it in there.
I don't hate it, honestly. Like, I think the 4-2 is probably the winner, but like the 5-1 could just be the winner. So
I just
I don't
really
hate the
struggle with
idea
the
of it.
rest of these guys. I mean, you go down the list, it's tough.
Yeah. So another guy, I know Greg the Legs being talked about in chat. He's questionable. He did practice yesterday, so I assume he's back. So like he's a Jet I could get behind.
I
Just,
hate kickers in 30 totals though. Like it.
I know, but like that's how
You
they
could get
score
that quick
points.
50 though, like you always say. I mean, if he just gets a quick one, if you get down though and it's like third quarter, you're just dead.
You're dead. You're dead. But like you asked me how they score points, like man, the kicker, like
Yeah.
the kicker might be how they score points. So, and then I think Redmond brought him up. I was going to talk about him, but Brownlee, Jason from the Jets, the wide receiver, he said they want to get more looks at him, and he was someone that was hitting a few of my builds too. I mean, he's 2,800, so I don't know if he's going to hit a ton, but he's a guy I could see them giving more looks to. And like, I could take a shot on someone like him who maybe the coaching staff wants to play a little bit more. So like there's another Jet. I'm just trying to like sell myself on a couple Jets. I've already sell myself on the 2 running backs. The kicker, I can play a little. The defense is going to be played, but Tony, like there's got to be like one other guy in there. I think Brownlee's going to be my guy. The other guy that I kind of sell myself on, because I really don't like these expensive pieces for the Jets. Like I don't love them that much.
I mean, just playing around with the builds. I mean, no one's going to use Simeon. I mean, just no one. He might be even lower owned than I think. He might come in like 10% owned. Is how crazy because even if you use a mid-tier captain, you just can't get to him. I mean, it's hard. So
yeah,
I struggle
again,
with
like
it. That's why I'm talking about an onslaught, because
this is the idea though. Like if you're gonna onslaught it, like Tony's talking about, okay, but if not, you got to sell yourself on something from the Jet side other than Breece Hall. So you know what I mean? Like,
and I mean the mid tier, like I could see playing like as your 2 guys, like a Breece Hall Conklin or a Garrett Wilson Conklin.
Yeah.
Like Conklin being your second guy, just based on the fact that he can just volume it to double digits. I mean, 7 catches for 30 yards and a touchdown or something, and he's huge.
Unfortunately, you're going to need him to like catch all of his targets.
Yeah,
which
he's
is
going to
probably
have
not
to.
gonna happen. Or get in the box, like one or the other, like which, you know, who knows about that? But that, yeah, you're going to need something like that. You also got Gibson down here, Tony, at 3,200. You got Lazard, who's questionable, and I don't know if he plays. He was not
He's
on the
not going to
injury
play for
report.
me either way. So
Yeah, he's definitely out for me too. But do you see anyone else that you down here? Tillman, we talked about. We like Pierre Strong. I don't
don't see
see much
anybody for
else.
the Jets, but Cleveland. I mean, I think in showdown formats, I think you can include David Bell, Harrison Bryant. I mean, David Bell's had one decent game. Pierre Strong, like I'm more willing to gamble on the Cleveland side. Just short week. I just like Cleveland. The more I look at it, the more I feel like it's just going to be a mauling.
Yeah, this is a question. Tony Drew said Cleveland D captain with Semien in the flex.
It's almost like the flip side of what we've always talked about: quarterback and the captain defense.
Yeah.
I think you could, and I think that will be unique. I think that could be a build that wins you all the money tonight. In a build like that, so just say you went that way. Say you think, okay, so you play Browns D and the captain. You play, I mean, if you play Browns D and the captain, you just for this team, you got Simeon And just say you want to play like a Conklin as the other guy. Because if you play Simeon, you need at least one non-Brees Hall. So you could play Garrett Wilson, but just for the argument's sake, to make our team better, let's put Conklin as that guy. So Simeon and Conklin. You got 9,200 for the rest. I mean, you're going to want – just put Flacco because he's up there. I mean, you could literally play Flacco, Cooper, and Kareem Hunt or any of these guys in here.
And that's
There's
with the
so
D
many options.
Is that with the D and the captain?
Yeah, I like the mid tier. We always end up liking the mid tier, but Elijah Moore, Browns D, Njoku, I really like the builds because then you can play Simeon or Brees Hall. I don't really think you can play Simeon and Brees Hall. I think that's a rule that you shouldn't really do. They're both so expensive when the Jets are projected to score less than 2 touchdowns. So I can't use both of them. And honestly, I think with the way ownership sets up, I'm more comfortable with Simeon just because you got more outs too. I like that build. Simeon with Conklin or Garrett Wilson, and then just jam the Browns around it, where those are your 2 Jets.
Yeah, what about the Jets defense, Tony? Because the way we're talking, it feels like the Jets defense might be someone we're a little lower on than the field.
I am, but I also just don't have enough Jets, and I also don't think the Browns score a ton. I'm not confident in their offense either. Flacco's due for a little bit of a stinker. Did Flacco play for the Jets? He did, didn't he? Or no?
What did he?
I can't remember his whole career arc.
I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea.
For some other.
Okay, Redmond said yes.
For 3 years.
Yeah, there you go. They dropped him.
Even last year, he was with them. I didn't even realize. I didn't remember him playing with the Broncos too. So
this Cleveland team, Tony, they're good enough to give anyone headaches. This team is because they're good everywhere. They have good pieces even though they lost Nick Chubb and they've lost some offensive linemen for some. They still have enough good pieces to be a tough out. This team could give anyone in the AFC playoff race right now. They could give anyone issues and anyone a tough game. Doesn't matter. 1 seed, 2 seed.
That's why all these AFC North teams are tough, just because the way they play. Even Pittsburgh gives people problems where they just play that weird style.
Pittsburgh definitely gives the division problems. That's for sure.
They give the Bengals a lot of issues for sure.
They give the Ravens. They played the Ravens tough too. They play teams tough. But yeah, I mean, I see in the chat Kevin's talking about some backup tight ends for Cleveland. He likes Harrison Bryant in 150.
No way, Kevin likes
Jordan Akins in 150 a little bit.
We got to get Kevin back on with JBC so he can mix in a little chalk.
Yeah, I will say the Brooklyn Nets chalk was not a good spot to be on yesterday. They played their third string, and not even their second stringers. They went to the third string unit at one point during the game.
Did a pretty good job breaking that down. Where
we did. I said
some of those guys.
I said to fade the expensive guys, but
yeah. I mean, you guys definitely helped me narrow my teams down.
Yeah. So there we go. That's the Up to Lock show. Me and Tony will be on later today with Holden, breaking it all down for the 7:30 slate. It starts at 7:30. So, but a lot of night games. So should be an interesting slate. Hopefully you guys join Run Pure Sports and get in on the winners today. I know Scotty Barnes was a winner for us too yesterday. That was another.
Scotty and OG were huge for me. That's why.
Yeah, JBC had OG in his core too. That was good. That was a good play by JBC. But Jalen Wilson season. Yeah, I unfortunately didn't play Jalen Wilson. Wish I played. I played Harry Giles in one of my teams as a free tag.
I did like you admitting we used to argue about that though.
He
hasn't seen an NBA floor since our argument.
Dead serious. I laugh about it sometimes. The first argument I ever had with Tony, I should have done this as a question because no one would have got it. But the first argument I had was way back in the RG days. Tony wasn't even on the fucking show. He was in the chat. and I was on the show, and he was arguing with me in the fucking chat about Harry Giles, and he's saying he sucks, and I was saying Harry Giles got talent.
I think
He's
it's safe to
good.
say I won that argument.
Yeah, you won. You won the first argument. Congrats. Not the last fucking argument we'll have.
With sarcastic congrats.
All right, that's it. Let's get in an argument right now. Who do we like that you don't like? I got to argue with you about something. I got to win.
I don't like much tonight, so you're going to have a hard time getting an argument from me.
Damn it. All right.
I don't know what I would even argue about tonight, just looking at this slate.
We might argue about this in the NBA show. Sam Hauser night tonight, that's a lock with Brown out.
I do not like Sam Hauser, so we could argue about that. I haven't looked at the pricing, to be fair. If he's like cheap or something, maybe I'll like him, but I don't like him.
I don't know. I haven't looked at the slate either. Big T just locked, Moore captain.
Elijah Moore's my favorite captain for sure.
Yeah, I go Njoku, Moore, Browns D probably. Those three. I think those are my three captains.
That's why we're not arguing, because we like the same dudes here.
Yeah, Onslaught, 5-1 or 4-2. Heavy Cleveland on all my teams. Yeah, unfortunately, I just feel like it's the way to go. And like you said, Tony, I thought it was going to be more heavy towards like the Onslaught, but it's really not as heavy as I thought. Like it's going to be more, but like it's not. Some of those slates that we've seen in past, it's like where you're getting literally like 5 to 10%, 3 threes and 150.
Like I don't think it's like a San Francisco Giants or something like that where it's.
Yeah, it's not the case. You know what I mean? You're still going to get a decent amount of those 3 threes. So I don't know. I think we talked about it, Tony. Any other cheap plays that are all the way down here that you can sell yourself on? Like I don't see any $200 plays.
I don't see anything outside of just a total flyer. Like all these guys are flyers. I don't see anyone that I'm like super excited about. I mean, Tillman would be my favorite, but he's $3K.
Okay, Fallick, I must be missing something.
Fallick just loves freaking arguing.
Good play.
I figured him out finally. He loves arguing.
I think he likes arguing more than I do, and I love to argue.
I mean, there's no good plays on this slate. Like Elijah Moore's in the mid tier. That's why. Yeah,
he's in the mid tier. He helps you get whatever you want for the most part. Like, I don't know. Everyone's gonna play the same cat. Like no one's that. The funniest thing about this argument too is like, it's not like Elijah Moore's gonna be popular either. Like everyone's gonna play the same dudes. Like Breece Hall's gonna be owning the captain. Amari Cooper, Garrett Wilson's gonna even get some ownership. Like Njoku will get some too. The Browns D will get some.
Elijah Moore will be less than all of them.
All of them. That's a low-owned captain play. So, yeah, here we go. Fallick, that's your play. Mr. Mike Show, Brian Captain. That's Fallick's play. You can have
Kobe at captain.
You could have Kobe. He wishes he was Kobe. All right, Tyler Conklin outscores Elijah Moore. Book it.
Again, what's your point?
Tyler Conklin has a better chance of scoring 10. But Elijah Moore has the better chance of having like the big ceiling game. But yeah, he's got a lower floor probably.
Elijah Moore is not even going to be owned.
That's what Fallick's normally on our side when it comes to unowned guys like this. He just, I don't know why he doesn't like them.
Targets and 2 targets and 4 targets. They won 30 to friggin' they pound teams.
All right, Amari Cooper is going to get 15 targets again, Fallick. Fine, which I don't think happens. So, all right, Tony, let's give our favorite play on the slate.
Question. If you guys run 1 to 20, do you roll one captain? I mean, most slates, I don't think you should run one captain in 20, unless it's like one of those slates where there's just a guy you absolutely. But a slate like this, I would never run one captain. I'd play 3 actually. I think 3 captains is pretty good for 20 teams.
I was going to say 2 to 3. In 20, but it kind of depends on the slate, because on some slates, like you're gonna get guys that are just like where you're just like, I don't know how I don't play this guy in the captain, you know what I mean? And maybe you only want to play 2 or whatever, but I don't know. Like there's certain slates. This is one of those slates though. It's like the opposite. Like you could play 4 like in a slate like this, just because man, there's no one that just like sticks right out to me like that is the best play. Even Njoku, who I think is the best play, I'm not like, I wouldn't like stake anything on it. Like I think he's the best play at captain, but I mean, that's not with as much conviction as I would like on some of these shows. So yeah. I mean, listen, I see some chat about Elijah Moore in the chat. Like it's, some people you want a low owned play. That's a low owned play.
Everyone likes it. That's why Fallick doesn't like it. The chat's on our side, so he can't be on.
I love that the chat's on our side.
Yeah.
More legit as tall as JSU midget script. Narrative, fucking narrative season right here, Chris. I mean, Tony, I might have to lock him just for Kevin.
Because of diet is not 100% true either. It's partly true. It definitely adds to it, but
it does not.
I know healthy people that get them too. My mom's as healthy as it gets. She gets them. It's also genetics or whatever it's called.
Yep.
Like it does make it worse though. I'm not disagreeing with that point. I would definitely decrease my odds by being healthier, but it's also my mom literally eats perfect, exercises, everything. She gets them. So like,
do I gotta bring on newly minted physician assistant Kelly Sarabian to talk to the people? Do I gotta bring her on?
From her
give her a breakdown of what's going on with kidney stones and why they happen. But yeah, maybe another time. All right, we got to give our favorite plays.
Score 10. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't
think they score 10 either. Yep, I think they go under it. So I'm gonna go for my stuff. I'm just gonna go David Njoku for the top play, and then for my low owned guy, I don't know if he's gonna be super low owned, but I'll go Abandakanda as the as my cheaper play. Maybe he's not super low owned, but I still think 25%, 30%, which is fine on this showdown. So I'll take my chances there. Big T, you got your top two plays?
I mean, I think we kind of broke it down good. I mean, Elijah Moore is my favorite captain. Njoku, I mean, I don't really I think Amari Cooper is going to be under-owned, so I like him, but everyone, I mean, that's not saying anything. I think my low-owned guy, though, even though there's a lot of risk with it, is Simeon. I know that sounds crazy, but just the way you build, I legitimately think he's going to be like 14% owned at quarterback. So
I got a question because you love the onslaught builds. Could you 5-1 with Simeon as your
5-1 with Simeon? I don't think. That's why I like it with Conklin, honestly, where if he throws a touchdown to Conklin, I think you're pretty minted with that 4-2. If it's,
I just wanted to ask because you've been talking about the onslaughts all show, so I wanted to make it clear.
I agree with you. 5-1 with Simeon. I don't think. I don't really know what would the scenario be. It would have to just be he scores like 9, and that's the highest of any Jets guy. That would have to be, but it's got to be pretty unlikely because it almost has to be he doesn't throw a touchdown.
Who's the Jets' backup quarterback right now? God. Is it Rippon? Is he the guy that backs him up?
I mean, is the other dude just dead? Is he not past concussion, or what are they saying?
Zach Wilson's out. He didn't clear it, so
I have no idea.
I think it's Rippon.
I don't even want to know.
If it's that bad, Tony, he might be, out of this game. They might just go to whoever's back.
Is it that? Yeah. I was wondering if it was that runner and that what was that guy's name?
It's Rippon, Brett Rippon.
What was the runner though? The dude that couldn't throw at all.
For who? Name? The Jets?
I'm not 100% sure it was the Jets. I'm pretty sure it was though.
The Browns?
There it is, the Strebler. Redmond's all about it today. Redmond's giving me all the answers. The big Streb daddy.
Preseason hero.
So bad.
Preseason hero, Strebler. Was a darling. Yeah, they cut him. Landis said they cut him.
I'm sure they did cut him. He was so bad. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I honestly think Cleveland's D. Every slate like this, I've faded the Ds, and I've liked it, honestly. Some of the low-scoring games, I love just playing the passing games and just hoping they score and having them lower owned while everyone plays the D. But tonight, I think I'm going back and I think we slam the Browns D in there. Just slam them in there. And you know what? If the Jets score, good power to them. Like, I'll lose because Man, how does Cleveland's D not do good tonight?
I feel like that's the right script, Tony, honestly,
Yeah.
is the Jets. Unfortunately, because like you,
If the
I've
Jets
been
score
fading all of them.
24, then I can live with it. I can live with losing.
The wildest thing, though, Tony, is we've seen the Browns in high-scoring games where the defense still does good. So it's not even out of the realm of possibility, even in a high-scoring game, that the defense fails necessarily. So
the next question, too, that we have, the last question, since we're almost done.
Yeah, Mr. Mike Show.
There you go.
That's what we're talking about.
Longer or shorter than 20 minutes?
I'm going to go under 20 because 20 is a long time.
20 is a long time.
You work up a good sweat and you go past that 20
The next question, though, I have is, are the Browns actually playing for anything?
Let's see.
Because they look pretty anchored into that 5 seed to me.
I think you're right.
So they haven't clinched the playoffs. It doesn't say they've clinched. And they do play the Bengals next week, so they technically do. They can't win the division because...
Yeah, they're not locked into the playoffs yet, technically.
Actually,
right?
Baltimore hasn't clinched the division either.
Oh, do they have the tiebreaker?
Huh?
Do they have the tiebreaker?
I don't know, but it's not likely, but they do have. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't one of those games where they literally weren't playing for anything, because that could change a lot. But they do.
Yeah, they still
need to play. So I think if they win, the good news for Bengals fans, though, if they win this week and Baltimore wins, they're definitely not playing for anything next week. So that's good news for Bengals.
And if they win and Baltimore loses, which Baltimore's playing Miami, so if they did lose, then they could potentially be playing for the one, like Hank's saying in the chat. Cleveland could still somehow. Imagine if Joe Flacco gets the fucking 1 seed.
I don't see
that would be unreal if something like that happened, though.
I mean, Baltimore plays Pittsburgh next week.
I'm just saying, though. That'd be crazy.
Miami does play the Bills, so I guess it's not the craziest thing ever that Miami beats Baltimore and then loses to Buffalo, and Baltimore loses both games.
Yeah, you said Baltimore plays Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
Second. I mean, we said it. The
Pittsburgh
division
could be playing to get in too.
The division games are just different. Even though Pittsburgh's not as good as Baltimore, like those division games just play differently.
Definitely.
So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for us.
Win the division, King of Smack, because Baltimore has not clinched the division, so they have to still at least have a chance.
Did they beat the Ravens? I think they had to have beat them, right? At least once.
I mean, if they had it locked, they would say clinch the division, because the teams that have
they beat the Ravens. They beat them and lost to them, so they're 1-1 against the Ravens.
Yeah, I don't know. It really doesn't matter. I was just making sure that they didn't have to just a non-spot. So it doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. They're going to play hard tonight. They get a win, and then next week see what happens.
All right, there you go. Here we go. Mitch is back. He's back.
I mean, Mitch is just. I legitimately think he jerks off to the Ravens. Like I make jokes sometimes.
I don't think. I know he does. I know.
Like how Uncle T is with Kentucky sports. That's Mitch with the Ravens. Like he loves it. He'll just text me at like
nothing was worse than when I went and Kentucky lost that game when I was at your house that first time, and I saw just misery. Just absolute misery on the face of my guy.
Like
he had to leave. He had to leave early, I think, because didn't he leave that day early, Tony? He was just so distraught from that game.
Who did we beat it to, Mitch? Like who? I don't have in the Nuggets, maybe. Not as much as I'm not texting you at 1 p.m. on a Thursday about the Nuggets.
Yeah, I definitely
wake up thinking about them.
Yeah, definitely. You're all season too, Mitch. Like, it doesn't matter where they are. Like, you're all season Ravens. Tony does not jerk off to the Nuggets all season. I know for a fact he don't jerk off to NBA until, it gets to maybe February. No, not even February, because it has to be after March,
usually,
so April.
It starts to tick up here after the new year. After college football's over, I start to dial in a little bit with it.
Yeah, no, Kentuckians, they basketball losses definitely hurt them pretty bad. It's a rough scene. So, all right. Well, Tony, final thoughts here before we get out of here. I mean, we covered everything and then some. So, if they want more winners, they can sign up. You have your core play, your player pool
shows
for
too,
the
at least Monday.
Of course, you're talking about fucking college. It's not college, Tony. We're talking about NFL.
This is college weekend. I guarantee more people care about college than NFL today.
Oh, don't. Well, oh yeah. So you just put it to the bad game.
Monday's all the playoff games. You're in the wrong on this one. Lots of people care about these college football games.
Oh, I know they do. For sure. But you can't compare it to Sunday football.
There's Sunday no football college on Sunday.
Yeah, for a reason, obviously. But I'm just saying,
they bitch slapped the NBA too. I saw those numbers. They just
slapped them. They whooped them. Yeah, that's unfair. They absolutely own the NBA. Christmas Day is for the NBA.
They just swooped in on their day.
Christmas Day is for the NBA. It just absolutely.
They just showed them who's boss. Just like you to Rubio when Rubio shows up this year on the Slam.
I'm fucking not.
You're not playing Snyder this year, Rubio.
You're gonna get demolished too. He's out of shape. I can't wait. Jesus, absolutely can't wait.
Come on, B-Nair. B-Nair does have a lot of bad takes. I mean, that's a terrible take.
I think it's. Don't you think though? It's more like a bit now with B-Nair.
It has.
At first, I was like, yeah, but now I think it's like a bit.
It's got to be a bit. There's no way
he plays his role well. I will say he does a good job with his role. I think he does a solid job with that role. So,
I agree.
Not a bit at all. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. No bit. So
I still think it's a bit.
Yeah, I might think so too. All right, we'll see you guys for the Up Clock show at 6:30. Myself, Big T, Holden will be giving you the NBA winners as we put our core plays up. If you want those cores, the player pools for NBA, for NFL, for bowl season, college football. You want the college football picks. The picks, the winners, they're on Rub Pure Sports. I see JBC, Big T. These guys are posting the winners in the bets channel in the Discord for all our members. Get over there, sign up, and get the Rub Pure bets and the DFS, and come join the winners and the crew. So I know Tony's going to be posting bets. I don't know if there's more games tonight, but I'm sure he'll be posting bets.
Yeah, they're in there. I got them all in already.
Perfect. There we go. So you'll get all the winners today, tomorrow, Saturday, not Sunday because they don't play on Sunday. Only NFL plays, so NFL on Sunday. But then Monday is what? The two big playoff games, Tony?
More
That's like
two games, but yeah, the two big ones are that day too. But we're going to do a college show for sure that day because that's a big slate. That's a 50K slate.
JSU will not be on that show. So, and I will not. College football?
We don't want you on our college show. We hate you.
I don't know shit about college. Why would I be on that show?
Get us off this damn show.
All right. Bye, guys.